Right guys, I'm going to teach you how to do just the pallu like everyone else kind of requested. So as you can see, I've got a pattu saree here that I bought from Porthes, and again, I taught you in the last video what the front, like what the headpiece and what the inside bit is. So as you can see, this one has patterns and this one obviously doesn't. So this usually comes here like I showed you in the other video. So the way you would start this, and sorry I'm putting this on the floor, but literally you would iron the entire saree first before you actually start doing the pallu. So firstly, you need a good steam iron. I love this one. And yeah, not a normal iron, but a steam iron. And then you need a really wide iron board. And then you need your saree, which is on the floor at the moment. So sorry guys. Once you've steam ironed it, the entire saree, every saree has different size of border. So here you can see this is quite a small border, and I probably don't want it this small. I would probably want it a little bit bigger. So then that's how you kind of pick it up. And you start at the end. So let's say, obviously your saree is going to go this way, right? So since your saree goes this way, you start off with your pleat here, so the inside rather than the outside. So a lot of people start pleating sort of this way, right? What I've started doing recently is do the opposite. So I start this way. So basically you have a really nice border at the end and at the front. So the back and the front. So it's like literally when you're walking, it just looks really nice. Like I said, I'm gonna start this way. And the way I'm gonna put my fingers, and it's a skill to learn really. I mean, you can either pleat or you can't pleat really, but it's like what I always do is I take my, what's this, thumb finger and my little finger, my pinky finger. I use these two, and then I use the first two fingers. So this one, the ring finger, I keep free. So I use these two, so I don't do anything with my ring finger. And I just kind of, you know, put this finger over it, 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 and I continue. So now you can see this is obviously not matching up because it's ending the wrong way, so I can't have it looking like this on top of my shoulder. So I'm gonna have to do it again and again and again till I get it right. So the best way to do is really, once you've got the end bit, maybe do the inside really small. So don't worry about this bit sticking out. So you just kind of do the inside really, really small. Do that last one even smaller. And then you've got it, right? So you've got it at the back and at the front. And this is how you're going to put it at the front, right? But you need to neaten this out now. So what I'm going to do is, since they're all over the place, I'm just going to straighten it up. Just kind of put them in order. So here we have them in order, just the top there. And then now you're going to have to start fixing it bit by bit. I usually do it maybe 30 centimeters, I do it, and then I pin it, and then I do another 30 centimeters. Also guys, I find these easier than using safety pins when you're preparing your saree, just because it's quicker and more practical. So what I'm going to do is with the first one, I'm going to already, so hold on, let me not confuse you guys. So remember how I did this? So it's obviously going to go like this, right? So let me just pin the end bit. So I've got that secured. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try, like I said, 30 centimeter length. I'm just going to get these pleats. Make sure you get every pleat and you don't forget them, right? See, you get this. And this is how it's going to obviously go over. Now the problem is, once you start doing them, sometimes you're going to have little bits kind of coming out, and some are not as small, some are wider. And what you need to do is literally, and this is why it takes a really long time, you need to do this bit by bit. I'm just kind of, can you see, I'm just like doing these pleats and I'm just like ordering them, like, well, putting them in order. And then if you can see on the other side, every single bit that sticks out, like for example, this one sticks out, I just put my finger in it, pull it on this side, so it just disappears, and then fix this pleat. So right, so I've just done this with just my fingers, so it's like neat on this side and neat on this side. And I just take my steam iron, and just flatten it. And you can see how quickly it went flat. It's like almost like freaking paper. It's like it goes so flat, and that's the nice thing with steam iron. It's very quick. And with steam iron as well, you don't have to be overly worried about it burning your sari or anything. If you're not very comfortable with ironing saris, please do not just put the steam iron on top of the sari. Ideally use like the back of like a pillowcase or something, and then just put it on top of it, like something that doesn't have any prints of course or stonework or anything, and then just put it on top and then iron it if you feel that way. But obviously I've done so many saris in my life that I'm a bit more comfortable. But yeah, so once you've done one section, what I then do is do the next bit and next bit. So this is always going to be the most time consuming thing ever, but if you want to look better than everybody else at the wedding, go for it. See, this is all steamed and this is obviously all loose. So then what you do is you follow each line that's already like from, so it just kind of continues on. So just like a little bit easier. Right? So then when you see this side now, can you see some bits are sticking out? So then I'm going to have to rearrange them. So some pleats are obviously shorter than others. So this is what I mean. This is a lot of work. You're just going to have to do this. And it's best to do it the night before your occasion. Do not wake up in the morning and try and do your pleats. It's going to drive you insane. So, right, so you can see the back of the pallu and the front of the pallu. So obviously this is how it's going to basically go on top, right? So I'm going to keep doing that. And again, the length of it depends on your height. So if you are extremely tall, I would say don't have it shorter than where your knee is, just because you're not going to have enough pleats on the inside. And the more pleats you have there, it just looks nicer when you walk. Whereas the shorter you are, I would say get it all the way to touch the floor, because that way you don't have too many pleats, because then otherwise once you stuff it in here, it just looks really, really big. So, you know, that's why you need to kind of see whether you're going to wear heels or what you're going to do. And some tall people like it really long, like I do, but then I'm not that tall. But anyway, so I'm actually going to do it touching the floor. That's how I'm going to do it. So I've got a long way to go. So next section now. And what also helps as well is, like, if you have a book, like a really heavy book, just put it on one side so it holds it, so that it doesn't keep pulling. So my cousin's recording me right now, so I'm probably going to get her to just hold the other side while I'm doing this. So yeah, next section, guys. I'm just like fixing all the pleats again, getting it all in line and making sure that the end doesn't look as bad as it did earlier. Sorry about that. Okay, so I've done this side and this side, right? So literally measured it as well. So it's actually from my shoulder, it's now almost touching the floor. So this is where I put my next pin in. This is the best part, guys. I just dropped another pin, but it's in the don't step on it. Because knowing you will. Right, so what I do now is on the iron board, right, so I put the sari in the corner where I've pinned it. And now the tricky part is, remember how I had this way, the back bit, so I wanted it to show? You want to obviously bring that forward. So it doesn't matter if it leaves like a weird little fold here, because nobody's going to see it. And then what you do is, according to how kind of wide or small you want it, you just start pulling out the pleats. So yeah, so I think this is quite nice, and it's quite even and it's quite pretty. If you need to spend more time doing this, do that. So right, so you've got it laid out like this, and then what you do is, once you have it laid out like this, I usually like to put my arm here so it doesn't move out of the way. So I do this, get my steam iron again, yeah, and then literally steam over it. Ta-da! So now, if I take this and put it in front, I've got my knee pleats. That's all you have to do, guys.
Sounds amazing.
So, as you can see in my previous video, 10-minute sari draping with Vithya, like, you know how to drape the sari, but I taught you how to do the pallu, so I didn't do anything else. So literally, if you look at the back, I've got it literally all the way to the floor. Got my pleats here, everything. You can wear a waist chain, whatever you kind of want to do. And then, can you see now, guys? Like, I've got the border on both sides. And I think that's nice, because you can literally, you know, when you're walking, when you're sitting down and whatever, people can see it. So otherwise, it would have looked like this. You would have had this bit like this. And I don't think it looks very nice. So I think this looks quite nice. So yeah.